Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time car show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Today, coming to you live from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In at the luxurious Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex restaurant in Katy, Texas. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zekin, and Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. And before we get to our next guest, I wanted to remind you that we've got, you probably heard it in a couple of commercials there, we've got coming up next weekend a special broadcast from the Houston Auto Show, and we're going to do that on Friday, the 21st, from noon to 3. And you'll be able to watch that streaming online and also on Facebook. And it'll be a great show because we always have great guests from the new car side of things.
And we're going to tell you everything that's going on at the show, and you'll be able to plan your entire weekend when you get ready to come out. Just check us out on Friday, and you'll know what to look forward to.
And
you'll
know where to go.
And then some.
Yeah. And the following day, we're going to be up all day and all night. We're going to the NHRA Spring Nationals out at Houston Raceway Park for the Mopar Express Lane NHRA drag racing out there. We'll be there 8 a.m. to noon, so we'll have an extended show that Saturday, and all of your drag racing favorites. Mr. Morris is lined up with John.
So that's like you were a teenager, staying up all night, next day, all that.
Yeah, there's that. We're going to try to stay sober for that as well.
I didn't say anything about sober.
No, okay. All right. So that's all coming up next weekend. It's a busy time of the year. All right, Mr. Morris.
You know, we come out here on the third Saturday, and we see lots of muscle cars, lots of hot rods and everything. But occasionally there's a couple of cars that show up that are restored. You know, in fact, we got the 66 Corvette from the last time over there on Kirby. He showed up, came over to see us today at this event.
Yeah.
But there's also, once in a while, one will show up that's a true survivor. And that's what we found out here. You and I were out there looking at it earlier, and we got this red and white 1954 Pontiac out here, and Rick Parras owns it, and he's got a nice story to go along with that vehicle.
Well, Rick, before you get going, how did I know that it was a 54? It just, I owned a 54 Chevrolet pickup truck one time.
Nice.
And there are some hints about that particular model year. It's the end of the round fenders as we know it, because the following year that all kind of changed for General Motors. And somehow, some way, I just kind of felt that was a 54. Of course, the taillights, too, the whole back end of the car. And, back in that day, GM actually differentiated their cars between makes.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah. And so the Pontiac really was a different car. And I was pleased to know that this car still has a 6-volt electrical system in it. Rare, because everybody always wants to change them over to a 12-volt. And understandable, I got that. But, to have it as a 6-volt system, that's all that there was back in the day. They didn't have, 12 volts. But
And that's part of what makes this one so cool as a survivor. It's not a restored vehicle. It is a true survivor.
Where do you find a battery for it? That's the real question.
So the only place that I can source a battery for it now is Batteries Plus.
Really?
Oh, okay.
And they probably have it shipped in from somewhere around the world, somewhere else.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's a few days, but
Yeah. Well, it's really cool. Long, skinny battery. Of course, that just happened to be for that particular car, that 54 Chevy that I had, that pickup truck. The battery was typical square.
Yeah, more standard size.
Rectangle battery that was underneath the floor. Yeah.
I hear you.
But
So tell us about the car.
So I've owned it for about 6 years now. I bought it from a gentleman in A-Leaf, so pretty local to Katy. He had two cars at the time. He had this one in a 1963 Galaxy. He had them both up for sale at the time when I went to see the cars. He was very much into the car scene. unfortunately with a buddy of his, and a buddy of his passed away, unfortunately. That was kind of a sad story, and so he got kind of bummed out and didn't want to have anything to do with the cars. I think he ended up keeping the 63, though. I know he had them in the garage. He kept them very clean. And as soon as he pulled this one out of the garage, I knew I was going to buy it.
That was yours.
It looks like a toy to me. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. I love the body lines. I love all the chrome and all the stainless steel on it. And
yeah. Well, I mean, and you keep it meticulously taken care of. You can tell. Yeah.
Sleeps inside covered.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I know how difficult that is, and especially a car that is that old, and it's still got its original paint.
I think it's original paint. Some people had, I'm not an expert. Some people had said it's had a repaint. It's got some orange peel, so you can tell that the paint is old. And if it's had a paint job, it was a long time.
Well, GM included orange peel in all of their paint.
At no extra cost.
They still do today.
Yeah, exactly.
And I understand the interior is original as far as you know?
All original.
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful.
Well, one of the cool features about that generation of Pontiac, and they carried it into the 55, 56, I think 57, is that piece of hood trim, that center rail, which on yours is a single rail, and gosh, it's got to be 8 inches wide. Now, is that chrome or is that stainless?
It's stainless steel.
That really sets the car. It also quickly identifies it as a Pontiac. I know in the 55s or 56s they did 2 narrower ones, but how cool is that? And how difficult that would be to replace if you ever had to.
Didn't they do a remodel on the Bitch and Rise? Dave Kindig did a Pontiac.
He did a 51 or 52, correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So they call those waterfalls, by the way.
Waterfalls.
Does the Pontiac head light up?
It does.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's got 51,000 original miles.
Whoa.
Oh, my gosh.
51,000 original miles.
And how often do you get behind the wheel of it?
I usually just take it out on Sundays.
Okay.
For
Well,
Sunday.
thanks for taking it out on Saturday.
Yeah, bringing it out here.
Absolutely.
So Don noticed on the front bumper there was a little add-on thing there that Don noticed.
A man thumbing his nose.
Yeah.
It's an error correct.
Error correct.
Error correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, and he's got the wide whites on there, and I guess all of that is factory correct, including the wheel covers.
The wheel covers are factory correct. Now, these white walls are now radials. It had the old bias ply. Obviously, they're very hard, very squeaky, and not good on the highway. And so when I bought it, I changed them out to the radials.
Coker does by far the best job
Right, they do.
of providing classic car reproduction tires. Not totally reproduction, these being radials.
Did you say it was a 55?
54.
54.
And then automatic or 3 on the tree?
Automatic.
Okay.
A 2-speed power glide transmission.
2-speed power glide, 268 cubic inch.
So that has to be a derivative of the 235 Blue Flame.
Maybe.
But wait a minute. Didn't
No.
Pontiac made their own engines?
Yeah, Pontiac. I was going to say back then, divisionally, they all made their own engines all the way into the mid 70s.
Yes.
So they all had their own unique engine. Now there may have been some stuff that was poached from others, but I would say that is a pure Pontiac motor in it.
I think you're right.
Overhead valve.
Yes.
Okay. Because I can't remember when, but a couple of generations prior to that were still flatheads, weren't they?
Well,
Yeah.
this is a flathead straight eight.
Oh, this is a flathead.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Yeah.
How different is
Yeah,
that?
it looks really neat under there because the engine's a flathead straight, and then you got this long, skinny battery that's almost like symmetrically they're similar.
Yes.
It might have been the reason for it. You got to think back then it was, I want to say Harley Earl was still stylist at GM back then. So I'm sure for him, you opened the hood and you wanted that symmetry when you looked at stuff.
Well, it looks like that. It would be something like that, yeah.
Does it have an oil bath air cleaner on it?
It does. It does.
Does it have an oil filter?
It does not have an oil filter. So it was funny because when I first took it to the Geisen Classic, there's some gentleman who lives out in Burnham that's a Pontiac expert. He owns all these Pontiacs. They had to call the gentleman to figure out what to do with a car with an oil change.
And you said it's had 51,000 miles on it?
not quite 51,000.
Wow.
Correct.
Yeah, it's interesting because most people don't realize that oil filters are a thing that started in the 50s, later 50s, that even some of the early Tri-5s, Chevys, didn't even have oil filters on them. And then
I didn't know that.
Oh,
I remember
yeah.
the old canisters where you had to take the canister
Yep.
off and it had a drop-in filter. You know, if you got in a bind, you could put a
and
roll
a
of
lot
toilet
times,
paper.
right? And a lot of times those were mounted high on the engine where it was real easy to access.
Yeah.
So with no oil filter, how frequently do you change it?
So I change it every 6 months, but I
Okay.
bet you I drive it, I don't know, 200-300 miles.
You just
and-
change
so
it
it's
because of time, not
time,
because of
not
miles.
He
Yeah.
changes it because he can.
That's right.
Now,
It's like, I'm going to get out and change the oil today, isn't it? That's exactly what it is.
I actually did some ciphering over here. My ciphering worked out with being 51,000, almost 51,000 miles, 67-year-old car, about 760 miles a year.
You had to get the calculator
I
out.
got a
for
calculator.
that.
Took
I
your
took-
shoes
cipher
off.
I
that.
did. I took my shoe off. I guess I got 6
So
toes on one foot.
how is it down the highway?
It's beautiful down the highway. It's very slow getting started. It's
Oh,
a
well,
very
yeah.
heavy car, but it loves to do 65 on the highway, and it just coasts.
Once you get up to the speed, it's good, huh?
It is.
Kind of floats a little bit.
It does.
At what point will it downshift or not downshift? At what speed will it not downshift any longer? 50? 40?
Yeah, I think 40, maybe even 35. It won't downshift.
It won't downshift anymore. You just got to keep your foot in it
Exactly.
and kind of
Just
rock
kind of
back
let
and
it
forth.
wind up.
But an inline engine's generally got enough torque to compensate for that.
Yes.
You know, it's going to pull, and that's not really a high revving engine anyhow. So
Correct.
they would control that from happening. But what a cool car! And do you know what they call the color red that's on it?
So I think it's carousel red. I'm not sure.
Carousel
Yeah,
red,
yeah.
which came back again in '68 and '69 on the GTOs,
Yeah.
though that is more of a pure red. Where when carousel red returned in the '60s had a much more yellow in it to be more of an orange
Orangey,
hue.
correct.
So and then with a painted white top on it.
Yes.
And the other cool thing about it, it's a pure hard top. There is no B pillar on it,
Correct.
which really sets the style off on that car. It really makes it pop as far as being a classic-looking
It
car.
looks like it opens it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what that car cost back in 1954? Have you done the research on it?
I have not.
You want me to do some ciphering?
Do some ciphering.
I
Yeah.
would venture less than $2,000.
I was just going to say about 2,000
Yeah.
because it was a Pontiac, so it wasn't a Chevy.
So it was a
gonna
little
pay
bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more on that. Yeah, and plus it's got two-tone paint on it, and I mean it's
and about 1,000 pounds of chrome and stainless steel. You look at that thing,
Correct.
and the chrome is beautiful on it. Every angle.
it
the sun
doesn't have
catches-
any miles on it.
Yeah, but still, time and age. Can
Careful.
Deteriorate.
I resemble that remark.
Well, like I said, can deteriorate things.
Yeah, but he's got high miles.
Lots of
Hard
miles.
miles.
Hard miles, yeah.
But,
without a
Ditch.
filter.
Been put in a ditch.
But yeah, the chrome is gorgeous on it, which is unusual in a car of that age to be purely original. So not just you, but the previous owners of the cars took very, very, very good care of that car to have it pop like that. And
It's a cream puff.
and I'm assuming interior is all original, never been touched either.
It is all original. It's worn.
Nice.
You can tell, but I haven't
But that's
wanted to
okay.
replace
No,
it.
don't
just
replace
because
it.
I like the originality.
Absolutely.
Cloth.
It is cloth. It's cloth and then vinyl on top.
Yeah, okay, vinyl.
Do you ever think about selling it?
Boy, I'd have to get
Trade
a really
or
sweet
anything?
offer on there for
Yeah.
me to let go.
was
It's
gonna
just it's my favorite car.
Yeah.
I was going to say because when you get to this point in life, at least for me, Jeff's got an older Cadillac, older by
Yeah.
how many? 13 years old.
Yeah, it's a 13 model.
13 model. Okay, and I've got a 01 Corvette. I'm perfectly happy with it.
Yeah.
I don't have any plans of getting rid of it. I mean, what am I going to get for it? Maybe what I paid for it, maybe not.
Oh no,
I would think so.
Mine's been paid off for years.
So do you have other cars in your collection?
So I do. I was on your podcast a 2-3 months ago with a 1940 DeSoto.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. You have the DeSoto.
Correct.
I think I told you the story about my parents and the DeSoto that they had. They had this. Dad bought this used DeSoto. This is in Wisconsin, so everything was rusted out, and it had a starter problem. And he taught my mother how to open the hood He supplied her with a hammer and a broomstick.
Tap the starter to get it to start.
Yep. And get onto there and whacked it, and then get inside
And I think we had questioned when you were here last time that Don may have been conceived.
I
in
was
that-
thinking the same thing. The DeSoto story. I got a story about a DeSoto.
my middle name.
Is DeSoto?
DeSoto.
And somebody's been tapping him in the head with a hammer ever since just to get him started in the morning.
And you know, I've got this tick that I've had all my life, and I can't get rid of it.
Stunningly beautiful car. I mean, really, as you drove in, everybody's head turned to catch the car because it really pops for the clarity of the paint and the brightness of the chrome, and then the uniqueness of the car as well.
Right.
Really.
And then you find out that it is a true survivor out of all this, and
Yeah.
that just becomes even more impressive.
More special. Yeah.
So the DeSoto and the Pontiac. What's next?
So I'm in the market for a 48 to 54 Chevy 3100 pickup.
So if anybody out there's listening,
Anybody
drop
out
us a
there?
line at info@inwheeltime.com.
We'll pass it along.
And we'll pass it along.
Of course, we need our cut out of that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well,
so
there's
The cut is having him come on the show and
There you
talk
go.
about
Yeah,
it. That'll
yeah.
work for us.
a 3100.
there's a buyer's fee. I mean, you know,
Yeah, of course.
whatever. But we'll get you lined up.
Today's a Bloody Mary. That's the buyer's fee.
Cool.
Yeah, that's right.
Done.
So, do you have any other places? Do you ever show it?
I do. So I go to shows in the area. And
But you do cruise-ins.
Yeah,
Do
but
I
do you go something like
Keels and wheels.
Keels and Wheels or try and go anything like that?
I have not.
Have you put the car in? Are you a member of the Pontiac Club?
I am.
Here in town.
So usually, of course, we haven't had one in a couple of years, but that would be the Autorama. Have you shown it at Autorama?
I have not.
See
yeah,
that?
Pontiac usually shows up with a fair number of cars at Autorama. I know the
Nice.
Oldsmobile people do as well, which is my genre of cars.
Now, I'm not a Pontiac expert, but that car would probably win a trophy.
It's class,
in-
absolutely.
in Autorama.
Nice. I'll
And,
keep that in mind. Thank you.
Huh? Yeah, but seriously, you know, hopefully we'll have a real Autorama this Thanksgiving coming up, and I would encourage you to enter it. Have you ever shown a car at Autorama?
I have not.
That's a fun deal to do. Yeah, and your Pontiac club probably knows, and if they don't, then
Is Mimi Saragusa still active in the club?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, you know, whether you showed up with the Pontiac people or you brought it in yourself, that would be a very worthy contender at Autorama because the fact that it is a survivor car and that it is just pure stock. You
and
know,
low miles and a hard top
and stunningly beautiful.
and with options on it, because that car you could get that car in a dumbed down trim level.
True.
You know, an entry level car. I don't think they really called them trim levels.
Not back then.
Well, they would have called a model. So
Yeah.
is it just considered a 54 Pontiac that's
it's-
not a Sky Chief?
You know, this
or
is a
Chieftain.
Chieftain.
a Chieftain, okay.
Yeah.
And where did Chieftain fit in the stack of
So I think their top of the
Models.
line was a Star Chief.
Star Chief?
That's
Yes.
the top of the line.
Because
It's kind of like what would now be considered like a sport model.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
well, built in Detroit,
sport trim.
Pontiac discovered Pontiac, the Explorer, so that name stuck. So then you've got the Chieftain, their Indian names from the Detroit area being Pontiac.
Well,
So this-
Pontiacs were always originally thought to be the Indians.
right,
you know.
exactly. So you've got the Star Chief and all that good stuff. My dad had one, but it was a 67, I believe.
Well, we sure appreciate you stopping by, and
you
we
for having
really
me.
appreciate you bringing the car.
Very much so. Very
Yeah.
much so.
You know, I really don't remember. I didn't look at all of them, I don't think, but I don't remember a 6-volt car of any kind at Autorama the last time we were there.
Oh no, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
There may have been. I don't remember seeing it. Most everything I was looking at was customized, so
Yeah.
everything had been converted.
Yeah, most things there are, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean conversions were popular back in the 70s for 6-volt systems.
Okay. So does
So-
it sit on a trickle charge, or do you have to worry?
It does. Now it doesn't. It doesn't lose power if I drive it once a week, so
Yeah.
it's a non-issue.
Yeah, I was going to say there's not much electronics on that to draw power. out of it.
Electronics.
Correct.
Yeah, the
It's
gas
got-
gauge.
It's got a set of
probably
points and
manual.
a condenser on it, so
Yeah.
there's something.
Does the
electronic.
radio work?
It does.
It does.
It,
Is it?
AM.
AMO.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure
Strictly
that's all
AM.
it was back
Yep.
then.
Yeah.
And it takes a while because it's got to warm up.
That's right. And
It's got to
I
warm
don't
the
know-
tubes up, right?
I don't know whether you've ever looked under the dash, but to see the size of the radio, it is about that wide
Yep.
and about that tall and about that deep.
It's bound to have tubes in it.
It's got tubes in
Oh,
it.
and I'm
Yeah.
sure it generates some heat as well.
Yep, absolutely. So, at any rate.
What's the key fob look like?
The key fob. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for stopping by again.
Thank you for
We
coming.
Really
yeah,
appreciate
we
it.
really-
Yeah,
course.
yeah. It was nice
Thanks,
talking
gentlemen.
to you.
All right, time now for This Week in Auto History. Do you have that? Did you manage to do your homework the past week?
Do I always bring my homework, Don?
You do, always.
We don't always go to it, so but we'll get to it. I'm waiting on Jeffrey. Let me
Oh,
know
I'm
when
ready.
you're good
Yeah,
to go.
good to go.
So in 1901, vehicle registration was started. And, of course, what state was it? In New York. You had to register your car in the state of New York. The fee to register a car was $1. But back in 1901, that was significant.
And this one's a roadster.
And today's typical car registration cost about $950 for the first year. And then in 1906, Pierce Arrow.
In New York.
In New York, yeah. In 1906, Pierce Arrow purchased 16 acres of land for the new manufacturing facility. The factory was constructed on a reinforced concrete, which was unusual for back then because they wanted it to be absolutely fireproof. If you remember back in the early 1900s, lots of vehicle manufacturer places burned to the ground. Oldsmobile was one of them. There was a couple of them out in California. They just flat burned to the ground and all of their vehicles were lost.
Why?
Because they build them in wooden structures and doing welding
I
and
see.
stuff inside
Yep.
of them. So in 1916, Lamborghini was born in a small Italian town, and after World War II, he achieved great success manufacturing tractors and air conditioning. You tell me, how do you Ferruccio?
Ferruccio Lamborghini.
Ferruccio Lamborghini, and I'm sure Peter Hurlston's listening, and he's going, "You idiot! You can't
Conrad
pronounce
at
his name."
inwheeltime.com.
And then Powell Crosley, an American industrialist, produced the first American compact car in 1939. Initially, it was only offered as a two-door, and if you kind of look at the picture of it, what a cool-looking little car. And little would be the name of it because that was about the size of an MGB.
It's ugly.
It weighed 450 kilograms. It only sold for $250, and it was powered by a 580cc two-cylinder air-cooled engine, basically a motorcycle engine. In 1954, Land Rover unveiled its first at the Amsterdam Motor Show, its first vehicle, and the Land Rover was developed as a result of the necessity. And a Rover engineer was unable to procure parts for his World War II American Jeep over in Great Britain, so they started Land Rover.
Looks
And-
sort of like a Hummer almost.
yeah,
in a
but
way.
they followed kind of the same lines. And then in 2004, everybody bow your head. A little tear from my eye comes out. On this day, in 2004, the last Oldsmobile comes off the assembly line at the Lansing Assembly Plant in Michigan. After 106 years, General Motors closed Oldsmobile, America's oldest automobile manufacturer.
It looks like an Achieva.
It is. It wasn't.
That is an
No,
Achieva.
an Alero. By then, it had changed names to Alero.
Kathy had an Achieva, and someday ask her about it.
No, I don't want to. And actually, I was in Detroit at a meeting when this happened, and I didn't go to Lansing to see this, and I had an opportunity. I regret not doing that ever since.
What's in the building now?
Probably a bar.
It burned
a
down.
A lot of that has converted to alcohol consumption.
Gotcha.
And then also this week in 2009, Chrysler and the UAW reached a tentative deal that meets the government requirements. So the government would give Chrysler money for the recovery of Chrysler. And then as well this week in 2009, General Motors announced its plan to discontinue Pontiac.
Oh, my. That's a tear there.
So kind of a horrible week.
A couple of recalls to tell you about. First of all, Goodyear RV. Goodyear RV tires. A particular model called the G159s. They are linked to hundreds of RV crashes over the past quarter century that has left 95 people dead or injured. So we're going to have a story on this in a couple of weeks, and I'll give you more details then. But in the meantime, go to safercar.gov for all of the recalls for your particular car. 2021 BMW 330s, the M3, the M34 or 340i being recalled, front seat belt buckle assembly malfunction. Piston oil rings bad on Hyundai Elantra, Kona, and Veloster for 19 through the 21 model years.
Burning oil.
Seat back recliners improperly welded on the Hyundai Elantra 2021
That's
model.
not right.
And the 2013 to 2015 Santa Fe Sport on the Hyundai label. Anti-lock brake system module may short out, as well as a fuel pipe not tightened properly on the 2021 Santa Fe. Jeep Cherokee 2021 transmission oil cooler hose may leak, and the Ford Explorer from 2016 to 2019, might have seen this on the news, roof rail covers may detach.
Come flying off and into the windshield of a car behind you.
Yeah, that's not good.
Possibly. Then it's not a.
So did you watch Saturday Night Live last Saturday?
No, did not.
Billionaire Elon Musk dropped a surprise early in his hotly anticipated turn as host of Saturday Night Live, saying in his monologue that he is the first person with Asperger's to host the show before clowning through skits for the first global live stream of the NBC Universal Comedy Show. Many had wondered how Musk would handle himself during a live comedy show. The answer was that he and the show's writers sought to soften the rough edges of Musk's public persona. Throughout the show, Musk gently poked fun at himself, including his penchant for provocative tweets and the time he smoked a joint on a podcast.
Oh,
There's
my.
been a lot of asses on Saturday Night Live through the years, so I guess he's the first one that had a burger to go along with
Well,
it.
you know what? We do podcasts. What do we,
Well, you also heard that Tesla got hammered in its stock prices, and a lot of people are saying it's in reaction to his visit to Saturday Night Live because of some of the way he acted and some of the things he said. It's like, get over it, people.
Time now for a quick break. We'll be right back with our next segment. Stay with us. You're on the In Wheel Time Car Show. Whether you own a newer car or want to keep your older one humming along for a while longer, think of Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln to keep things in tip-top shape. From oil changes to major repairs, you can depend on the highly skilled service pros at Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevrolet, and Bayway Lincoln to perform fast, efficient service to keep your investment running strong. For all your service needs, remember Bayway. Schedule your next appointment online anytime. Bayway, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's premier cruise-in, and you're invited to join in. Whether you're a cruiser or spectator, Tailpipes and Tacos is the place to enjoy made-to-order breakfast tacos, fresh coffee, and mingle with Houston's fun car people. Mark your calendar for Saturday, June 19th for Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tailpipes and Tacos is free, and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods all at one location. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Lupi Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 in Katy. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Lupi founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in. Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy. The In-Wheel Time Car Show will be there, too. Get your ride ready, and we'll see you at Tailpipes and Tacos, Saturday morning, June 19th, 8 to 11 a.m. at Lupi's in Katy, weather permitting.
NHRA Camping World Drag Racing. It's an 11,000 horsepower Nitro Rodeo coming to Houston Raceway Park in Baytown. Catch all the Nitro and Pro stock action at the Mopar Express Lane NHRA Spring Nationals presented by Pennzoil May 21st through 23rd. Matt Hagan, Leah Pruitt, Erica Enders, 3-time world champ Steve Thorns, and 16-time himself John Force. Kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Get tickets at HoustonRaceway.com. Houston's got horsepower.
Don't miss the first ever Houston Summer Auto Show, May 19th through the 23rd at NRG Center. A limited edition collection of your favorite brands and models, including the new Ford Bronco and Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Tickets online only at HoustonAutoShow.com.
That's it for this podcast episode of the In-Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.